A special thanks to Peter Wallison from AEI, who for years warned about the systemic threat posed by government-sponsored enterprises, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And I got to know Peter back in the old days when he was raising these concerns. Eventually, the Federal Reserve itself became convinced that Peter was absolutely right. And in about 2004, they began to warn on what he was warning, that this represented a systemic threat to the financial system, not just here in the United States, but worldwide, at one point, the Fed chairman said. You know, for years there was this belief that should Fannie and Freddie run into trouble, the federal government would support them. After all, they had a line to the Treasury. They were a government-sponsored enterprise. And as Peter was warning, that perception allowed Fannie and Freddie to borrow at rates normally reserved for branches of the federal government, to take on excessive risk, and produce profits for shareholders and executives while they crowded out their competition. This is normally the result of when you have a government subsidy. This is the consequence. Well, the federal government had to step in to save Fannie and Freddie, and this could end up costing taxpayers $400 billion before it's through, besides the effect that it had on the housing market, the collapse of the housing market. Additionally, the federal government has taken drastic steps, using trillions of dollars, to prop up failed institutions because it was believed these institutions were too big to fail. One of the most unfortunate consequences of the massive move to provide public assistance is that moral hazard may become more deeply embedded in our financial markets. We can and should take steps to eliminate the need and possibility of official bailouts in the future by avoiding labeling institutions as systematically important and providing an enhanced bankruptcy procedure to deal with non-bank financial institutions as an alternative to the course that we seem to be on. And this will provide clarity to the market. It will reduce the perceived government safety net and lessen the moral hazard problem that has been created in recent months. In terms of the problems that we're going to deal with looming in the future, I think we have to take lessons from the mistakes made. And this panel here today, I think, will give us an opportunity to discuss just such issues. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.